trying not to babysit this. You know what I'm saying? I'm back though to talk about a reply for a custom request. One of my people's Ronald Hayes, right? Ronald Hayes just made a comment on a Taurus video, right? And one of the most, I could say the most viewed Taurus videos. Taurus videos are always viewed a lot anyway. So, he made a response on the video that says, ah man, he wish he would have had this information earlier before he went through what he went through with this Taurus woman, because she friend zoned him, and he even referred to it as horn zoned him, like that she horned him, you know what I mean, and like pushed him away or whatever the case may be. And he wants it back. So if there's any insight that I can give on how to get a Taurus woman back, to let him know, right? And this is timely. This is why I'm replying to it so quick. This is timely because this is in the air. Like, this is in the universe. A lot of people are wanting to know how to get Taurus women back. You are not the only person. You are not alone, Ronald. I'm just letting you know right now. You are not the only person trying to get a Taurus woman back. In fact, I believe my next episode in Secret Houses is about how to get a Taurus woman back. I got this guy who's really interested in the information that leads to know how to get a Taurus woman back. So this is in the stars, right? So I want to start by saying this. Because your response is timely, this gives me more of proof to know that, this transformation with Uranus entering Taurus and everything is really putting Taurus is about to go through probably the most change in any sign in the zodiac wheel right now. And it's because things that have been going according to plan are not necessarily going according to plan anymore, because new information, a new energy, period, right? It's not even so much about the information right now. It's about the new energy, because we all have built up information along our travels, along our way, especially when it comes to our plans. We've all built the plan from information, right? But now it's like we still have the information, but the plan is now being shifted around. So this interrupts Taurus more than anyone, right? And people who have heavy Earth or have heavy Taurus placements in their chart as well, right? It's not just Taurus suns, Taurus moons. They're also disrupted by this. Anybody who has like a concrete, structured flow, even Virgos are disrupted by this. Capricorns are feeling this because structure, planning is shifted now. People may just go totally left right now, right? So this is kind of something of the effect of what happened to you, Ronald. And I'm going to start by also saying, I'm going to follow through rather by saying that Chiron inside of Aries is going to do something to Taurus women that gives them more confidence in the shift that is occurring. So what I mean by this is, okay, like, look, Tauruses may not have healed spiritually like most other signs have healed spiritually. And that is because Taurus are really like surface people. They're not that deep. This is my opinion. If anybody disagrees, please get in the comment box, let me know. Maybe you got like a water moon or something that can verify something other than what I just said. However, to me, Taurus women are but Taurus women are definitely surface people. It's just like, type what you see, is what you get type thing, right? There's no real depth there. So they may not have healed spiritually by all of the running rampant on the earth that has been happening in the past 10 years when Chiron was inside of Pisces. Okay, so people who were spiritually healing, people who tapped into that Chiron energy in the past decade, Taurus hasn't really felt that, because they're so according to the plan. They're so practical. They're so steadfast. They're so determined to make sure that the follow through happens, that they'll take the wear and tear from, what happens in the earth, because, they're built for that, right? But they don't really tap into the spiritual vein. But if you observe Taurus people, Taurus women, right? Especially you're a Pisces. I believe that you're a Pisces, right, Ron? This is why you even responded on this. I believe that you're a Pisces. But, like people who are more spiritual like Pisces, or people who are more in tune with intuition like Cancer, right? They will be able to pinpoint how Taurus has not healed in that past decade, and they may still even be feeling it now. So seeing this, people want to reach out to Taurus and maybe help Taurus, but check this out. and this may be a reason why you've been friend zoned, is Taurus is getting hip to the game now and seeing that, listen, if y'all knew I was spiritually messed up then, y'all should have said something then. Y'all didn't help me then. Because there was a lot of not helping Taurus on a spiritual level when all of this running rampant was transpiring on earth, because everybody's having fun, right? Everybody's in love and they're feeling good, and that's Taurus's element. So they always want to see people having fun and doing good, and to the point where they will sacrifice themselves. And I don't mean really like sacrifice themselves spiritually. Again, I mean sacrifice themselves in the physical, like, oh, you want to come over, come over. You want to have fun, let's have fun. You want to go out here, you want to go out there, you want to gather up, have a few drinks, whatever the case may be. They're all for that, right? But no one's really around for when Taurus woman is going through that spiritual thing. And it's different. Don't get me wrong, it's challenging for people to really tap into it, because they're not the ones to express that to you. And 9 times out of 10, or a lot of the times, maybe not 9 times out of 10, but a lot of the times, they don't even know exactly what's going on with themselves. Because as I said, they do not tap into the spiritual like that. They just feel like they're going through something and they'll get through it because they're tough and they've made it through certain situations before, so they'll continue to make it through. But really, everybody has a spiritual side, So this, the reason why I say that this is going to affect Taurus more is because with Chiron moving in Aries is because it's going to deal with the individual. It's going to deal with self. You understand what I'm talking about? So, Tauruses, they'll have friends, but they won't have a multitude of friends. They'll have some real friends, right? So they'll sit around with that circle and that camp, and Chiron is only going to do so much for the group thing inside of Pisces, because it's still an isolation house. 12 house is an isolation thing, right? So if Taurus wasn't isolating when Chiron was there, they didn't get the full healing that they needed to become ready for this whole warlike type thing that's going on with Chiron being in Aries. And even if you want to, you're not warlike, which a lot of people are not. We don't have to do the war thing, but when it comes to creation, when it comes to self, when it comes to worrying about me, right? Taurus not worrying about other people and other things, worrying about themselves and themselves only. Yeah, this is brand new to them. However, it has to happen. It has to happen, right? It's so focused and narrow now because it's cardinal energy. It's different when it's mutable. It's easy to skip over Taurus because it deals with other things, it encompasses different things. But now it encompasses this whole, listen, we got to look at you. We got to focus on you. No, you can't dodge around it. You can't go in the background like Tauruses like to do sometimes, like not get involved so they don't get involved with the drama. They're not with all of the petty stuff and all of that. No, spotlight is on you now. But it's on you to heal, Taurus woman. It's on you to heal. So this may be a reason why she friend zoned you, because she's coming to this understanding that, hey, listen, you know what? Maybe all of this fun and all of this loving stuff is not what it's cracked up to be right now. There's other things happening in the universe that's pointing to that, that's letting them understand this, right? So I also want to say this, right, while this is happening, because it's not like Taurus woman is not capable of doing this thing without these placements happening. So let's look at some things that would make a Taurus woman friend zone someone. And as we already know, that it could be showing the Taurus woman too much love, right? So let me give you some pointers on how to get the Taurus woman back before I go too deep into my Secret Houses podcast video. All right. One thing is this: you may have to get another girl. Flat out, go get another girl. And the reason why I say this is because Taurus women test their men in many different ways, right? But they're also testing themselves. So they may be acting or behaving in a certain way to see how you respond to it, because they have this theory. It's a silent theory. You don't know nothing about it. They're doing it on their own. So they're just maybe they have this thought that says, you love me so much. Okay, maybe you just love me so much because you don't have any other women. So you may have heard this before, the bad boys get all the chicks, right? The bad boys get all the women, or, just certain type of men, when they're dealing with other women, they attract more women. And I'm not saying that Taurus is looking at this from a slutty perspective. What I'm saying is they may want to see their personal value, right, Taurus, for what it really is. And in order for them to really figure that out when it's to be conjoined with you, The only way to figure that out is, well, let's see what you do without me. Let's see how you do without me. How much am I really worth? Like, well, let me see. What type of girl would you get with when you depart from me? They'll keep an eye out for that, and so they'll test themselves and they say, oh, okay, well, he can move on, or he can do this. And then depending on what type of ascendant they have, like they may have a cardinal ascendant or a cardinal moon, they may feel competitive in this aspect. And I know Taurus women do not compete. However, you'll be surprised how strong a moon in an ascendant is. That's a totally different other video though, right? But that's one pointer to what you can do. You can get another girl. And I know you may say, well, even if you're not like that, you know what I'm saying? Maybe it's just the point of mingling. Who's in the circle? Take a few pics. Social media era, right? Take a few pics when you're out in these social crowds or whatever the case may be and see how that transpires. Another thing is this, right? Taurus women, if you don't need them, it's almost like a rap. Like it's almost like a rap. Like even if you're not with them, let's say you're friend zoned. Like right now, you're friend zoned. Do you need her? Figure this out. And I mean, it could be for the smallest thing. Listen, it could be for getting a bargain or something, right? Because if a Taurus woman, nobody beats a Taurus woman when it comes to bargains. So I may have said this before too, but this is really a thing for them, right? So let's say you want to go shopping, you want to do something, and it may be a real item that you need a discount on. Then what you can do is call them up, text them, whatever you got to do to get in contact with them and say, look, I'm looking for this thing. I need a discount. I know, have you ever seen anything? Well, maybe y'all never spoke about that type of stuff before, right? But just take this advice from me. She may be like, well, what are you hitting me up for about this? Look, I just got this feeling. My intuition tells me that you are the person who can direct me in the right place to get a discount on this. Because everywhere I go, I'm ready to buy something. I think they just jerking my chain. I'm thinking they pulling my leg and they're trying to get me for my money. Can you help me out? Use the small things if you got to start there. You know what I mean? Even if she says, oh, you just miss me. Well, obviously, of course I do. You know what I'm saying? But use those things that lets her know that you need her. Let her know that you need her, because if you don't, oh man, if you don't need the Taurus woman, I don't want to say it's completely over, mind you. I don't. But, however, it might just be because they need to feel wanted. They need to feel that they have to do something. All right? So that's another tip that you can use to get your Taurus woman back. And this is the third one. This is the final one, because I don't want to give up too much and then I get to secret houses, and they're like, oh, you gave all away the information that we was getting here. No, I'm not going to do that, right? But publicly, what I will say is, the third thing is, do whatever it is that you were doing when you met her, and do it extensively. Okay, do it extensively, because what you are doing is you're reflecting the follow through, the follow up that is embedded inside of the Taurus woman. You're a reflection of that. You are the implementation of that, and you are emphasizing it by doing it more. So this turns her on. This is like, to her, it's like, oh, he left me, or I left him, however it happened, right? However, he's strong enough to keep following through on whatever it is that you do. Whatever it is that you do it a little bit extra. And if you think that you gotta like make a scene, like the social media thing was, that was a tip. It was kind of jokey. You don't even have to take it there, because I'm gonna tell you this, right? If you think for 1 minute that you have to be loud or out there, you don't. Taurus women are gonna find a way to find out what you're doing. Yeah, that's another secret. They will. Flat out. So even if you're just doing something on social media, not purposely or not intentionally, they're going to figure that out and find out what you're doing anyway. It could be on a humble or just a regular good morning, oh, I need coffee text. They're watching that. So do what you was doing extensively, and try to, and moreover, be about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, because sometimes we're all human, right? Like all men, we can be taken off of our focus for a minute when it comes to women. That's natural. However, when you can show that in her absence, you follow through on what it is that you do and what it is that you desire, she's going to love that. And you may just get that inbox text to say, hey, how you doing? What's up, stranger? You know what I'm saying? I'm out.